Hello everyone, and welcome to the spreadsheet portion of the video. I have drafted out, as you saw, my budget in pencil in the budget planner, and also a massive thank you to those of you that have bought copies of the budget planner. I think this is definitely the most popular cover, and which makes me feel happy because all of the little flowers and things on there I actually drew myself on Procreate. There is no AI in the making of this planner. Anyway, I think one person has bought it in hardback and everyone else has bought it in paperback. I've got the hardback version here, and actually the pattern is slightly different on the version that's for sale because I didn't do a particularly good job repeating the pattern on this one, so I went in and made some adjustments and corrections and improved it. Anyway, big thank you for that. So yeah, so I've got this kind of penciled in version here to work from, and what's inside the planner basically mirrors everything, like my little calculations, because I couldn't do them in my head very quickly, and my calculator was on my phone and I was recording with it, and I was just like, oh, I could get logged onto my computer, and I thought, no, I'm gonna do my sums in the squares provided. So yeah, and then there's a little lined section for like a summary of how your month has gone at the end of each month. And also, I think I've mentioned this before, this is one of the things that I desperately wanted in a money planner, is you fill out the month yourself. So if you skip months, which I do, I don't do my budget every single month. I do it as and when I feel like I need to do it, and that can often mean that I've got big chunks not filled out in money planners, and I have to go in and scribble things out and change the month, and it just feels really incomplete and a waste of pages. Because the thing is, I'm not very good at sticking to things, and so I won't stick to doing this every single month, and I don't want to waste paper in a planner and waste my money on planners where it's all kind of, the months are already in there, if you see what I mean. I'm just not disciplined enough for that kind of behaviour. So I'm going to use what's in here as a guide as I fill out the spreadsheet, so I can go through it step by step basically and show you how much money I've got this month and what I'm going to be spending it on. Right, so my income then is the same as always. I'm not taking any extra this year over Christmas because my income hasn't been as good as it was last year. It hasn't been very up and down actually, but it's been fairly steadily just a little bit shy some months of what I actually need. So I'm keeping that the same. We're going to have a fairly frugal Christmas this year. I am going to add in one more thing though, because I pay for my dad's phone every month. If you've seen me do these budget videos before, I set my dad up on a contract. He doesn't have the internet. He does have a smartphone, but doesn't really use the smartphone features of it, just uses it for calls and texts. And the one thing he does use is he uses it to look up his lottery numbers every week. So I guess he uses the internet for that. But anyway, very mistrustful of all of that. And so I set it up for him and I pay for it every month, and then he gives me the money back in cash once a year, and he really likes that system. I did ask him if he wanted to change it at all, if he wanted me to set anything up for him, email address and all the rest of it. He's like, no. So there we are. And out of what he paid me back, I've got £80 of that left to basically use towards Christmas presents and things. So my income is £1,180 this month, which is slightly different from usual. As a reminder, this bit across the top here, it populates itself while you are, or once you have filled out these sections underneath. So fixed expenses then. Bills account, so a joint account that me and my other half, I can't spell when I'm doing this and recording at the same time. So Bill's account is a joint account shared between me and my other half. He pays his chunk in, which is about 500 and I can never remember, 580 or 590, and I pay in 510. So it's an almost 50-50 split, but he does earn more than I do. So it doesn't need to be exactly 50-50 for absolutely everything. Our food shop, grocery shop, however you want to describe it, is about £250 a month. So we pay about half of that, 125 each. I did notice though that this month in November, we did go slightly over by about £20-25, I think. And in part that was just when we put the main order for the month through, we missed off a load of things that we actually needed for the month or hadn't realised that we would run out of during the month. And because we usually, if it comes out looking a bit cheaper, we just put like extra nice things in there. So we kind of spent the money on like the extras and the nice things, and then realised towards the end of the month, oh yeah, we missed out a load of essentials. And that's why it was looking so low. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not that we have to be super strict with it. It's possible for us to go over a bit and just, you know, top up from the kind of the money that's in the joint account, and or from personal spending if we have any left or what have you. So it didn't matter too much, but it should be 125. And there will be extra spent during the Christmas period, but I'm not putting it into my like regular fixed expenses. I'm just going to put that into my like planned additional spending. So mobile one, which is mine, that is £16. I've got an iPhone 12, I think, so it's quite old by iPhone standards now, but I'm happy with everything that it does. Battery life is a bit dicey these days, but it's fine. It does what I need it to do. Mobile 2 is my dad's, and that, I think that's gone up slightly, but I can't remember. Actually, no, I think it is 9. I think it's £9 a month. And iCloud storage, I have got to the point where I'm quite happy to pay for that. I can't be doing with, just put Amazon Prime on there as well. I can't be doing with my phone storage running out and stuff. Someone that I was talking to, like an online pal, if you're watching this, you know who you are, was saying how frustrating it was when she was recording and her phone storage was filling up. And I kind of thought to myself, yeah, that's exactly what mine used to do before I paid for the storage. And also I've got more storage on my phone than I used to have as well. So kind of double whammy, and it just stops any of that. And also I take all of my listing photos for Etsy on my phone, and I usually end up with quite a big backlog of those and then have to go through and clear them. But because of the iCloud storage, it's not slowing my phone down, or I can pick and choose when I go through and delete all of those photos and get things organised. It's not something that I have to do before I can get on with a task. And it sounds like such a small thing, but it makes such a difference to my workflow and my general happiness. I also still have Amazon Prime on here. I'm actually watching it a lot at the moment. I'm watching the videos. I don't really use it so much for the speedy shipping anymore. But I'm watching a load of, they've got on Prime Video just loads of really old detective shows. They've got loads of things from I think most of it is like 90s and early 2000s, the stuff that I'm watching. And I'm just really enjoying it, really enjoying myself, rewatching things, discovering shows from other countries. There's loads of Australian crime dramas from the 90s and 2000s in there. So yeah, I don't know that I'm necessarily getting my £9 worth out of it, but oh, I do have the books as well, the Prime Reading. You can have borrow 10 books. I don't think I'm using that particularly effectively. I don't think a book subscription really works for me, because I have to be in the right, I have lots of books on the go, and I have to have them in certain, like a non-fiction and some fiction, and then like some other type of book, and then a different topic, and I can't really stick to the 10 that I've got. And so having 10 from quite a limited Amazon Prime library, I don't think it particularly works well for me, but it is there for now. We've got nothing in debt repayments. In savings, it's the good old premium bonds. I'm going to have a look at what I'm doing savings and investments wise. One of my goals, oh yeah, I didn't share those, did I? My financial goals that are at the top there. Don't know if you can see them. So I've got finished the year all paid up and owing nothing to emergency pots and savings and things. So because my pay has, I mean, it's gently fluctuated all year, just in the months where I haven't quite made it to the £1,100. Obviously I have to put a little bit aside for tax as well. And so I've had to top up a little bit here and there throughout the year. And then in some months I've been able to pay bits of it back and so on. So it's been a bit messy in that sense this year, and I just want to get to the end of the year having paid back anything that I've borrowed from myself and feel like I'm just straight with it all and with myself. And I think that will bring me a feeling of peace actually, which is what I really want around money, is just peace around it. And then I've got on here as well to review my financial year and plan for 2026, which I might make a separate video about because that might be of interest. It might also be quite detailed as well. Anyway, the spelling, in my LISA account, I've still got the £75 going into that. Into the stocks and shares ISA is 25. Really, really important. If you are worried that you can't have these types of account because you don't have a lot of money to spare to put into them, I am going to remind you that as long as you choose an account that allows you to put smaller amounts in every month, you have every right to have an investment account. I kept one of these going, and this was quite a number of years ago when I tried doing budgeting videos on this channel before, when it was basically a sort of eBay reselling channel. And there was a time when I think I was only earning about £800 a month at that point. I was paying £10, I think, into one of these accounts just to keep the habit going. £10 a month. That's what it's all about. It's about keeping that habit going, and also understanding that £10 a month now is going to turn into, you know, kind of double, could possibly triple that in 10 years. So no amount of money is too small. Just pay in, open the account and pay in what you can manage to squeeze out of your income. So that has filled out this top section of outgoings, and it has shown me that I have got £352 available to spend guilt-free this month. That is what is left over. So I have got planned spending though to put in there. If you watched the last video, then you know that my planned spending is on here because I need to know how much I've got left for little spontaneous spends here and there, like a coffee, a book, a magazine, or whatever. So let's see. Okay, so Christmas gifts. This might seem like a small amount of money, but I'm happy to break it down for you. So £190 on Christmas gifts. So I have a small family anyway, and actually so does my other half. And certainly in terms of who we buy for, it's quite small. We both have friends, but neither of us have friends that we actually buy gifts for. Me and my friends kind of stopped doing that in our late teens, I think, possibly early 20s with one of them. And we tend to meet up either around Christmas or around birthdays and things like that, and we'll share a meal together rather than exchanging gifts. So that sort of takes out a whole chunk of money, and we don't have children, so that takes out another whole chunk of money. Yeah, I just have a small family. I don't have brothers or sisters and nieces or nephews as a result of that, and unfortunately all of my grandparents are no longer alive now, so I don't have to buy for them. And so the only people that I buy for are my mum and stepdad and my dad and stepmom. £90 out of that 190 goes on all four of them, and one couple has a dog. So the dog gets a little gift as well. So yeah, so £90 across sort of both couples, and that's just the level of spending that is normal in my family and has been normalized over the years. It's just part of the I suppose, like the spending culture within my family, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So we definitely take Christmas seriously in the sense that we try and buy things that we think the person will like and put some time and thought into it, but it's not mega spendy and just never really has been, certainly not in my family. And I'm not going to speak for my other half's family because I don't think that's fair, but my observation is that it's roughly the same there as well. And then the other £100 of my Christmas gift giving is what I spend on my other half. We have a Christmas budget of £100, and I don't think it's ever been more than that, even when we were earning a lot more between us. It dropped down for a few years to £50, sort of around 2020 when everything was a bit wobbly. We kind of dropped that down, but it's back up to £100, and we feel that we're able to buy each other some really nice things with that amount of money. It still feels generous. It still feels like a lot. Again, it could be connected to what your kind of money and spending culture is within your household, within your family and your extended family, and so on. But that's my Christmas gift budget for this year, £190. And then I am going to put on here extra food, because what we're hoping to do this year is to just host. So we've got 3 sets of parents, and they are the people that we would normally visit sort of around Christmas Day and New Year's and things. Yeah, we're hoping to just host, in the sense of having some nibbles and things like that available for people. So more likely to have people around perhaps maybe lunchtime or afternoon tea time, that kind of thing. And so that will require some extra food. And I'm going to put £50 down. It may well go over that, but for now we're talking 50, and obviously my other half will contribute to that as well. And it does mean that if people are coming to us, then we save money on train fares going to visit other people. I desperately need a haircut. I haven't had it cut in about a year, more than a year actually. It could be even 18 months, and it's just scraggy and horrible. And so I'm going to put £50 down because I think it's going to be a restyle, and I know what salon I want to go to, and I'm pretty sure they charge £50 for that. I need to budget for some lunchtime drinks. Me and my friends are quite frugal and I've converted some Tesco Club Card vouchers, so that, and again, we can only use them actually at the beginning of the month, but it means that we can get our food for free for a lunch, and then we just need to pay for drinks and things. So I'm going to put £20 down for kind of drinks with lunches and sundries and things like that. And then I have a day trip booked in, and that is like gallery and lunch, and again, it really won't be very expensive at all, because it will be train fare and my half of lunch, and I can get into the gallery for free because I've got an annual pass. So yeah, so my planned spending is £330. So that doesn't leave me with very much spontaneous spending at all, but it does mean that I can cover everything that I have planned for the month. It is just going to be a little bit tight. Hopefully I will over earn a little bit in December. I usually do, and that will just give me a bit of wiggle room. So tight budget at the moment, it's looking like. I'm going to have to stop filming here because of the light. So let's go and sit somewhere comfortable, and I will talk you through a few little business reset things that I am doing this month as well. Okay, so we didn't make it onto the cozy sofa. We are up in my office instead because I'm going to talk to you about work stuff, and my notebook was up here, so I thought I might as well just record up here as well. So my business reset for December revolves around now just focusing on the businesses that bring me in money in the same month that I earn it. So for example, with something like YouTube revenue or with Amazon KDP, you get paid like the following month, or in KDP's case, it's like 2 months after you've earned the money. So I'm homing in on the businesses that are going to pay out this month, because this is my final chance of topping up this calendar year's earnings, and I am behind on last year, all the details of which I discuss over on my Substack. There is a link to that in the description box below. So the businesses that do that I am focusing on are, well, predominantly it is my vintage shop on Etsy and a little bit on Vinted now as well, but predominantly on Etsy. And I have been just focusing on getting as much listed as possible in the time that I usually allocate to that business, which is all day on Monday and a couple of hours on a Thursday morning. I've expanded that and I'm doing a little bit here and there at the weekends at the moment. And I think I've done a few bits in the evening as well, and that's because I got this massive auction haul of stuff about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago now. Anyway, I have been simply working and processing all of that, and I would say I've probably processed and listed about half of it. I've got some more of it that needs doing this month, so that's what I'm focusing on. One of the goals that I set myself was to make sure that I was listing at least £500 worth of items every single week, and I have stuck to that during November, and for the first couple of weeks of December I want to continue to focus on doing that. I had a few other things to do as well, which was to go through all of the jewellery that I haven't listed yet. So my vintage shop is, I'm actually not sure of the percentages now. It was mostly vintage jewellery, but because this massive auction haul that I got was mainly ceramics and bric-a-brac and picture frames and things like that, it might be 50-50 at the moment. I'll have to go and have a look in the shop and do a proper evaluation of that at the end of the year. Anyway, I knew that I had some bits and pieces of jewellery that I hadn't got around to listing because they either needed cleaning, they needed a little bit of fixing, or they needed testing. So I ended up finding quite a lot of items that I thought were 9 carat gold, but I hadn't sort of double checked them. Some of them were marked, some of them weren't. I needed to do some checking, so I managed to do that last month in November, and so this month in December I want to make sure that I've got all of that 9 carat gold tested. And then I've also got some beautiful items like this one, which is definitely 9 carat gold because it's all marked, but I don't have, let me show it to you, it's absolutely stunning. I don't have a gem tester, so I'm going to pop into a local jeweller's with a few pieces that are like this, that have got some sort of gemstone in them, and just see if they wouldn't mind telling me what the gems are, or whether it's just paste or glass or something like that. Usually with 9 carat gold, you're likely to have a proper gemstone in there. So I've got a few things that I need to go and deal with in that sense. So I have this kind of list of those jobs. The focus is on that vintage shop. And then my other business that I am recessing and trying to build is my print on demand Etsy shop, which has just got the usual types of products that you would find in a print on demand shop. And so in November, and I think this will continue again into December, I'm focusing on Christmas items, Christmas designs, and then also looking to what might be selling in January and February. So mostly focusing on the Christmas market, but also one eye on what's coming up just around the corner. So yes, those are my two things that I'm focusing on. With my other income streams, I am making some slight adjustments, but they won't really kick off or make any kind of difference until January. In my Substack, one of the things that I was doing as one of the benefits of joining my Substack was to have my YouTube videos on there early and ad-free. But I came to the conclusion that actually what I felt would be more beneficial to people, to my members, would be if I shared some sort of sales report and just showed people what was selling in my vintage shop, and also telling people the types of item that were selling on print on demand and the types of design, and also, you know, which of my videos are doing the best, not just in terms of views, but in terms of the other analytics that I get, and just do that type of report. What's selling? Where is it selling? and potentially have a discussion with my members about why are these things selling, and also how to grow the business or grow my business and for them to grow their business based on that data that I'm giving them. In order to do that, I've ditched the YouTube videos early and ad free, because I usually write a blog post that goes with the video, and if I take that work away, I can replace it with something that I think is useful. And of course, they can still watch the YouTube video, they just watch it on YouTube along with everyone else. So that's a shift that I'm making in my Substack. But again, it's not something that's going to, I think, have an immediate financial impact. It's not something that's really going to start properly until the new year. But that is a reset that is in the process of happening in December. This channel is also gradually resetting itself. It will eventually incorporate, hopefully, a fairly even-handed mix between personal finance, online income, multiple streams of income, and also sort of productivity methods that really work when you are the type of person that likes to have lots of variety in the work that you're doing. And so that's where I know I'm going with it, but I don't think that's going to show particularly well, is going to show up particularly well yet until we get into next year. The only thing I'm really concentrating on at the tail end of this year, of 2025, is just trying to show up more often and trying to at least get a video out every fortnight, really, at least, and then hopefully can increase that to weekly next year. But my biggest thing is what I was talking about at the beginning, which is to make sure that I am completely straight with my money. I've paid back anything that I've borrowed from various pots to cover any months where I haven't earned enough, and focusing on what can bring me in income in the month that I make sales in. Focusing on that is the best way that I can achieve the first thing. And then next year, I'll be doing a big review of all of those income streams and mini businesses that I've got, and working out a way forward. And again, those conversations will be things that I have with my members over on Substack. So that's my business reset. That's my financial reset for December. Let me know anything that you are doing in order to reset your finances or reset your online businesses over the month of December. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here right at the end, make sure if there is something that you are looking for, you take a look at the description box, because there's all sorts of links and things in there to things that I use, to things that I offer, things that I sell, a mailing list that you can join. All of that good stuff is all down there. And I will see you again soon for another video.